In this recording, I will be identifying the structures of the sheep heart. This is the anterior view of the sheep heart. This is the apex. This is the base. This is the right atrium. This is the right ventricle. This is the left atrium. This is the left ventricle. There are two major vessels that empty into the right atrium. Those are the superior vena cava and inferior vena cava. I'm going to put my thumb through the superior vena cava, and you can see it right here. And the inferior vena cava right here. And you can see over here the right auricle. It's a kind of elephant ear looking structure. And then there's an opening that connects the right atrium to the right ventricle, and in that opening there is a valve called the tricuspid valve. I mean, it's kind of really dark, but you can't see it, but I can see it. Okay, and then the blood from the right ventricle gets pumped through the pulmonary trunk right here. You can see it. It's a lot thinner than the aorta. And there's a valve here called, inside of the pulmonary trunk, called the semilunar valve. This blood gets pumped to the lungs via the pulmonary arteries, and it gets returned to the left atrium after it's been oxygenated via the pulmonary veins. And there's an opening that connects the left atrium to the left ventricle. And in that opening, there is a valve called the bicuspid valve, also known as a mitral valve. And these stringy-looking white structures, these are the chordae tendineae, and those are connected to the papillary muscles here. And the tubercular carnae are the irregular muscular columns of the right and left ventricle. You can see that this is the left ventricle because the muscle wall is much thicker than the right ventricle muscle wall. There should be an interventricular septum that divides the two ventricles, and it should be right here. It's not really clear. Maybe, yeah. And there should also be another septum called the atrial septum, and that divides the two atriums. It's between the two atriums. It's kind of really difficult to identify it. This is, I don't know, maybe the way I dissected this. Not really, but it should be up here. And then the blood from the left ventricle gets pumped to the systemic circulation via the aorta, and that's a pretty thick vessel. I have my thumb in there right now. It's right here. I don't know if you can tell, my thumb is right there. I'm moving it. And it's really, really thick compared to the pulmonary trunk. And then there's also the left auricle right here. It's kind of floppy looking ear structure again. And that's it for the sheep heart. Thank you.